Hello, hello. Okay, so I recorded a funny video that, well, I thought it was funny. It was funny to do, basically, but it was just those artificial intelligently generated portraits. And that came out months ago. I'm way behind the curve for doing that. That was a trend, everybody was doing it. And at the time, I said, no way in hell am I gonna give my image, to this thing, in order for it to strengthen itself in some way, right? Because what we've heard over time with anything that artificial intelligence is employed to handle or do is something known as emergent properties, and that is when it acts in ways that it was not coded or trained to do. And that for me is like super Black Mirror, like why would I, buy into that? But yeah, I just hit a point where I was like, I mean, if you have a phone, if you're out in the world, thinking about when I was in the airport and like everything facial scan, like you've been gotten, you've been got. You think that you haven't been gotten, but you've been gotten, right? Everything within your phone. And all the little disclosures. I actually opened up, when I downloaded the app, I opened up the privacy policy and I scrolled through it, and it took a long ass time, but I was like, I want to know what I'm consenting to, because we live in a world that relies on people's laziness and unwillingness to actually figure out what it is they are consenting to. So I did it because I was thinking about Temu, the app that I had downloaded that revealed to me this kind of horrifying idea that what if the emergent property, from an artificial intelligence was to be able to, this is so far-fetched of me, but make an app like Temu and just market things, and it felt to me like the products that I was being shown were just born out of thin air after I clicked on something. And then this whole other avenue would open up and it would render and drop into the feed. How about all these products, And the way that the products were advertised were through these artificially intelligently rendered models, or there are so many screenshots that I took too that I didn't include in my video from the other day when I was talking about that. But it would be like a model, right? Or it was supposed to be standing on a bed, and you could see the rumpled sheet, but the graphic wasn't rendered properly. It was glitching, and I was like, wow, it's a pair of shoes. Since when has anybody ever modeled a pair of shoes standing on a bed sheet? It was just bizarre, And I'm like, makes me think of that funny thing I saw the other day when it's kind of a meme or whatever. I don't even know where I saw this, but someone was like, the company announces that they're going to run X, Y, and Z exclusively on artificial intelligence. And then the meme was like, artificial intelligence accepting the job, and the hands were all glitched. Honestly, pay attention to the hands in anything. Look at hands to figure out if something is artificial intelligence or not. And I will also say that what people posit as artificial intelligence and its glitches, there's a lot more hard to detect versions of that operating on all fronts right now. And I'm interested in it because this is not a new technology. People have been talking about this in a mainstream way for a few years. The way it's being deployed right now, apparently Hollywood's on strike because certain movie studios are no longer going to be hiring actual actors to be extras. They're just going to be able to scan and use likenesses to create artificially intelligent rendered background people without having to hire and cast extras, and people don't like that because it's taking the jobs away from the real human people. Well, okay, if that's the case, then why? They've been doing that for over 20 years. What it was, 1994 or 1999, Terminator? Maybe that wasn't the movie, but Oliver Reed died in the middle of filming, and they finished the movie, and he's in it. They used the deepfake technology that they have today, and people are acting like it's new. It's not. Anyway, my question is, there's just levels to narratives. There's the level of the narrative that everybody accepts that comes through you find out things through news articles. There's the middle of the narrative, and then there's the deep narrative. I don't know. I like to kind of just assess it equally and be what is the information that I'm being presented with? What's the root of this story? When did this all begin? And really just, yeah, gotta be really discerning. Like, of course, we can't really control surveillance and how we're kind of monitored in the world today, which is intimidating. But anytime, like during COVID, when people took to TikTok, and I mean like multi-generational families doing the same TikTok dances, to me, that screamed they're gathering information. They want to see body mechanics on as many people as possible doing something to train the machine. Anyway, I gave in and I made that little video as kind of a little exploration. And what I thought was interesting is that if you think about, and I know I have no education, I'm not an authority in any way at all around anything computing. I know a very, very basic level of coding that I was required to learn to get out of school. And I hated it. It's not for me. But, you know, computing in binaries 0, 1, 0, 1, with a qubit, a quantum computing bit, it can take information and it can render and create instantaneously, like, all the different possibilities. And I think that's why what I thought was interesting with that artificial intelligent fantasy portrait app or generator was that it said every time you do this, even if you input the same photos, it will create entirely unique results every single time. And I noticed a lot of things with the fingers, with the hair. You know, the earrings would like flow into the hair pieces. It's just very interesting. And in some ways, I was thinking about that concept as far as like that's what the universe does, you know, creation and the collective manifestation of this silly world, you know, catapulting through time, the way that we are experiencing the passage of time and the evolution of humanity. That is also the same, you know, you could call it quantum computing. There is no cap to what the universe will, you know, express and create because it is the conscious minds of the creation, us, the people, and all the other beings in the existence that are dropping things in to manifest with their, you know, conception of them. So anyway, there's a lot to unpack there. It also takes me back to the concept of, you know, hubris and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the original published version, not other versions of that story. Okay, so thinking about music and songs that I was thinking on today, but those will come up later if they're meant to. I am going to pull a card reading. You can already kind of get it from me and my like scatterbrained, fast talking energy today, but there's a giddiness in the energy that I would categorize as uplifting, perhaps a little bit ungrounded. I don't know what the focus of this reading is going to be. I recorded one the other day that I'm going to be posting at the same time as this one. That one should be watched first. I don't know what I'm going to call that one either, but my hair is real sloppy in that one, so that's how you'll know to, I don't know, because I won't, sorry. Whatever. I'll use some type of cover image for that one. I'll use one of the artificially intelligent portraits as a cover image for that video. So if that one's up, there's me narrating the AI generated alter egos of me, and then there will be another video after that, and then there will be this video. So anyway, that reading was really good. It talked about solar plexus and heart chakra clearing and this new kind of synergy really that we haven't seen before in the current energy cycle. All right, I am going to bring up one of the songs that I got. It's from Chicago. It's Roxy. It's when she's like thinking about being inspired by Velma Kelly, and she's singing the song from just some dumb mechanic's wife, I'm gonna be Roxy, who said that murder's not enough. Now, don't like murder anybody, that's not the point. I got this song, I was singing this song, I was thinking about the song, and I was like, why this song? She's rebranding herself. She has this dream. She was this like timid woman in the beginning of Chicago. You know, we see her like watching Velma, and then she what it has brought up for me in terms of messaging is the idea that there is the dark and unhealed and toxic feminine energy. And then there's the healed feminine energy. And then there's the dark, toxic, and unhealed masculine embodiment of energy. And then there's the healed masculine energy. So there's 4, right? And this kind of gets into levels of magnitudes as well, which I've talked about before. I have a picture over here, and it's like the increasing complexity of different things. It starts with 1, God. It splits into 2, duality, or like, you know, biology. Again, splitting of cells, the complication of things. So to some extent, we all embody all 4 of those, you know. There is something, you know, with the matrix and the energy of the world today, the incarnational matrix. You're born into this world that has all these energetic rules, and that's how we have collective energy and inheriting, you know, patriarchal structures and matriarchal structures. And so what I'm getting right now, especially because of the Venus retrograde, the fact that we're moving into Leo season, Venus being more of like a feminine energy, the need to continue to balance the healed versus the unhealed and witness when certain things come up while we're trying to make certain transitions, so we can steer, again with the rudder, like maintaining course, or the tiller on a boat, continue to make those micro adjustments so that if there's like a new expression of self, like Roxy, you know, she wants to be a performer. She wants to, but she goes about it the wrong way, you know, trying to get attention in like the attention grabbing, like it's not a healed way because she treats her husband so poorly, like the Cellophane Man song. I loved him in that movie. But anyway, a need to take a look at the things that we're doing during our personal rebrand, if you will. I'm not saying that's what we're doing, but it could be looked at through that lens, and then making sure that the energy of change is not some type of offshoot for an ego gratification. It is aligned, and it is of coming from that healed space. And one of the ways that I do that is I'm like, you know, on this channel, for instance, and putting myself in the position of talking to nobody. I don't know who's ever going to, you know, see my videos. I think about, you know, would I be okay with my grandparents watching, you know, my mom, my brother, and my dad, you know, a friend, somebody I don't know. I want to make sure that my tone is rooted in the truth of my heart, because if the answer is yes, then I can say whatever I want, because it would be like I'm not trying to appeal to anybody. I'm just speaking for the sake of sharing what I have on my mind. And so just accountability as far as like, would you be okay with, I don't know, somebody seeing you acting in this new way? And I'm not saying that it matters what other people think, because that is an ego-driven way to try to, you know, behave. You don't have to try to behave in any type of way when you're in alignment with yourself. But as far as doing these little adjustments and making sure that what we're doing is still on track, especially because it takes time for things that we do and change and ways that we move that are different to come back and yield results to us in a reflective way. I also do that with, like, you know, personifying my higher self as an 111-year-old woman who I will become one day, you know, God willing. I don't know how long I'm going to live. No one does. I think about the position she would take on life, and sometimes, you know, she'd be like, you know, you need to look at that situation with a little bit more empathy, or you need to tone it down a little bit, whatever it is. She keeps me in check, okay? But that's just a mode of me talking to myself around, like, you know, maybe what could I have done that differently? So anyway, there's a need to do that right now. The other song I got was, it's an old song, Brenda Lee. It's called Emotions. Emotions. What are you doing? Oh, don't you know? Don't you know you'll be my ruin? You've got me crying, crying again. Okay, this heartache and emotions, you get me upset. Why make me remember what I want to forget? Yeah, this is the retracing of Venus going into its retrograde. What it brings to the surface is an emotional recalibration on seeing, maybe with more clarity than we have before, our actions, maybe how they made other people feel, why we did them because of how we felt, and what that means. And then a chance to do things differently. So those are my 2 song synchronicities. I have cut the deck and shuffled a lot, and I just want to get right into it. I can't believe this has been a 14-minute intro, but that's how it goes, isn't it? Also, I talked about this in the video that is going to be uploading here shortly before this one. But I talked about a study with bunnies and how there's a backing for the fact that the brain state that you are in when you consume something, whether it be media or food or polluted air, you know, the brain state that you receive something in affects the way your body handles it. So I just want to remind everybody, you know, even if you're not able to access and, you know, you don't have the time to prepare perfectly organic, grass-fed, whatever, just look at the food beforehand and be like, you know, I bless this food with light. I'm preparing my body to accept it and transmute anything that's not nutritionally, you know, valuable within this food out. I receive it and I take it on as energy and as fuel, and any parts of it that are, you know, clogging or prohibitive to my body's perfect energetic flow, I release that and I trust my body to transmute that out. You can also use mindful eating, the process of being just one spoonful or forkful or bite, you know, just one more serving, right? Like heavier or filled than you were before. So as you're consuming something, I also don't know why I'm being moved to say this, so hopefully it's resonant for somebody or helpful at this time, but the process of mindful eating, I mean, we eat very quickly in most cases, and you know, the concept of like a family dinner isn't as common as it used to be. I've always been very grateful that my family was, at the time I was like, ugh, annoyed. But there was a huge emphasis on being together as a family, and I'm grateful for that now as an adult, right? But anyway, just being mindful of the fact that every bite you take, you're adding to your body. It can help us from not overeating and feeling, you know, the mind-body-soul connection and the value. Like, there's a sacred act in food, you know. Think about cross-culturally and just the notion of sharing and... Anyway, all right, we'll take you. What is it? No? Okay. I'm going to keep going. Give me something clear here. I've already been all over the place today and with this reading, so hopefully I can focus and kind of let the right information come through here. Thank you for your patience. Oh, last thing I was going to say regarding that is, like I talked in the video that's uploading right now about giving yourself a love frequency bath, basically. What a nice little idea. Conjuring a frequency that just feels really good, and you can use a memory or a thought or an idea to get yourself to connect to that frequency. But it's the lightness that you can feel in your body when you just see yourself as glowing, detached from any and all obligation, you know, attachments, people, things pulling on you, and put yourself in that really good feeling state. Let it cleanse every part of you, you know. Draw that energy via visualization as a color. See it moving through your feet, your kneecaps, every part. And I talked about musculature being different from skeletal and really letting it saturate your body on every level. You can do that as you consume food too. And all this has to do with just protecting your energy, using your body and the energetic body to optimize the way that you can basically like survive right now against the elements, because man, it's coming at us. It really is. It really is. Like I kind of maintain that if you don't do anything energetically to protect yourself, you're being attacked. I know that sounds really, really, really harsh, but there's a lot to go up against environmentally and through the screen and whatever else. And so if you're not actively trying to like protect your energy and clear yourself and prime your body to ingest foods and everything, then, you know, the way that it's designed is to bog people down and slow them down and shut them down. So you have to kind of actively work in the other direction in order to remain open and healthy and clear. And wherever you're at, you can start and improve your situation. I firmly believe that. Wherever you're at, you can start and improve. So don't worry. I do have 3 cards, so let's check it out. Wow. We have the Strength and the Ace of Wands. So again, with new beginnings, starting new things, going somewhere new for emotional fulfillment, consulting the moon, the intuition. Let's say more about that. What do you have at the top of the deck and the bottom of the deck? The High Priestess. Blinded by the light again, yeah? Can't even register on camera. Bottom of the deck, Justice. It's ridiculous. I do shuffle. I show you that I shuffle. High Priestess, being that moon energy. Things happening behind the scenes too is what I'm getting. Things happening behind the scenes to honor all parties involved, including ourselves, regardless of what's gone on, okay? A lot of people don't see just outcomes sometimes because they think something's got to give somewhere, and I think that the universe right now is restructuring things behind the scenes in our personal dynamics at a collective level to ensure justice, and that's very important. What can I get on the new beginning that we've been opening up for a little while? And the Eight of Cups. Ooh, that was immediate. The Sun and the Chariot. Do you see, like, I feel super giddy today in a good way. I see why. Energy is fast moving, and there's happiness here, and almost a little bit of anxiety too, because it's like I feel like the cards, it's almost whittling down so that more quickly the energy just results in the same stuff, but it takes less sorting through. What I'm getting now is that analogy around the bloomin' onion that I used, as in like taking something dense and non-penetrable and letting it unfurl like a lotus or an artichoke, and being able to parse out the different aspects of complicated feelings in order to release them, transmute them via creative means or, expression. There's less of that that's needing to happen right now, and that has to do with the reading that I'm uploading right now. If you didn't watch it, I would recommend going to watch it. It has to do with the solar plexus and the heart chakra. This is it. The reading's over. I'm kidding. I'm going to keep drawing cards, but I asked, what more do we need to know about, and this isn't, if you've watched any of my readings, this is not an unfamiliar combo. These cards have been coming out non-stop, absolutely incessantly, because there's a theme here. Tempering the ego, and again, I talked about with the song from Chicago, it's like, just make sure, the process never stops of being like, am I heart-led? It's hard to do in every single situation, because we're human, right? But just tempering the ego enough to just make sure that being your best self means amplifying the people around you. It doesn't mean ever stepping on anybody. And so I'm seeing just like the new beginning of being able to follow the intuition around how to keep this like inner strength, because with strength, comes power, like being able to wield power responsibly. Again, with the Ace of Wands, like having the inspired, proper alignment from within at the beginning of an idea in order to see it through. I mean, come on, this is just ridiculous. It is, because I've only pulled 7 cards and 5 of them are major arcana. This is just so nice though, because those energies are always going to be bigger, more prominently acting upon us than all the other stuff, okay? As if I needed any type of clarification on this. What do we got? Ultimate stability. The 10 of Pentacles. I'll just keep drawing every good card out of the deck and we'll call it a day. Or we can switch decks, but let me get just 2 or 3 more from this deck, and hopefully it'll give me a little bit more to go on in the way of advice. Oh. What is holding us back right now? And what are we still working on releasing? That's for holding us back right now. It's the 6 of Cups. And what are we working on releasing? Ugh. 2 came out, so... Okay. What is holding us back right now? We got the 6 of Cups, and this is a card for, nostalgia, children, past life connections. And again, with that, the reason why this card can signify past life connections is because there's a feeling that you have when you encounter people from past life connections where you get kind of this childlike nostalgia with them. I'm hearing Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Okay, so I think that there's still kind of this need to be vulnerable around the things that we haven't done the way that we would have done if we saw things a certain way at a certain time, or we didn't necessarily have the same healing or advancement on our path as we have now. So again, there's no like ability to go back and do things differently. All of your power resides in the present moment. But I mean, how on earth can this be holding us back? Let me cut the deck and find out. Okay. It's the Four of Wands. It's stability and happiness. I think it just comes down to like a fear of almost the fear throat chakra. The fear of having what we want, maybe. What's at the top of the deck to clarify? The Four of Wands with the Six of Cups. The Three of Wands. Okay, so potentially not feeling like we've done enough of the proper strategizing and looking out in order to know that what we're doing is the right thing. That's not anything you're ever going to be able to feel. He doesn't know what the earth feels like on this south bank until he gets there. So you're trying to trick the process. And what I said, what did I ask? What do we need to release? Well, whatever. What came out for the second question that I asked? What's holding us back and what do we need to release? Yeah. This Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so the notion of that, kind of wanting to double check, like you've already crossed the T's and dotted the I's. At this point, what I'm seeing is like the pad of paper has like the same I dotted so many times that the ink has bled through to like 5 pages below it. You can do it again, but I'm pretty sure the dot is there. You know, and I feel like we kind of get this like stir crazy revision energy around things that can turn inwards and become self-sabotage. And you need to trust the wheel, right? As the wheel turns. And that could mean holding back until more is revealed, or it could mean going forward and letting that reveal more, however that may manifest in your life, okay? And I will speak to this as well. Queen of Pentacles being something that is holding us back, well, I mean, or what we need to release. When the Four of Wands came out, there's something around like success and stability and feeling like if we start doing something in a new way and it doesn't bring success and stability within a certain amount of time, then we're let down and we haven't made it work. And that's not the case. Again with, I mean, it hasn't come out, but the Knight of Pentacles, all of these things that are changing, like it's so well thought out. It's so well thought out. Even if you think that you've been going through something for a few months, I feel like this is years in the making, and the energy does show that. Whatever, you know, we're kind of working through during 2023 is the result of every year that's come before it, and particularly the last 7 to 10 years. Give me a clarifier on the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Pentacles as things that we need to release. Expectations around divine timing. I swear if Temperance comes out, I will end the reading because I just think it's about patience. I think it's about understanding that within a beginning and an end, there's kind of only presence, and you have to key into the part that you're at within your journey. If it means waiting, then wait. If it means acting, then act. If it means revising, then revise. But I mean, I didn't see that for no reason, right? The ink blot. Sometimes I watch these videos over and I'm like, why do you laugh like that? Because that's not how I always laugh, but I feel like it's like I'm having a private chuckle, although this is not a private video, and so I'm not fully laughing. It's like this like restricted inner giggle that ends up sounding, oh. Okay, top of the deck and bottom of the deck to go along with that. Oh. I'm so sorry, forgive me. Okay, so I asked for a clarifier for the Queen of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune around things that we need to release for all of the goodness. I'm not even going to go back and show it again. Ten of Pentacles, stability, Ace of Wands, passion, the Sun, happiness, the High Priestess, trusting our intuition, justice, things just finally evening out and not having to be so much work for so little gain. The Chariot, being able to do that with the universal energy that wants us to do that. Said I wasn't going to review it, and then I just reviewed all of it because we're at a crux. We're at a precipice. We're at a point where we've done a fair amount of strategizing. Okay, so the Two of Swords came out, the Two of Wands came out to add to the Three of Wands. You know, look at them. This is the same land, you know? They almost connect. They're not quite the same visual if I'm trying to line up the horizons here. It's almost like he has the higher vantage point and he's on a rock, right, and this a little bit lower. To look out and see more, it's like, oh, I'm going to come out of my tower. I'm going to look from a different way. What came out to clarify the hesitation and potentially a fear of being successful or trying something new, which we have no context and no proof in our lives as we know it, to show ourselves that it could work out. It's called a leap of faith, you know? This is what we're worried about. Being let down, not feeling fulfilled, being like just decimated and destroyed by all of it. But this is the energy. This is the alternative, right? This is a self-fulfilling prophecy if we don't just kind of get on board with a lot of the things that are changing within our lives. And again, there was that harsh truth chapter of the readings that I've done for the past month at this point. That chapter closed out long ago. And I mean, I know that the way that I do readings and the way that I feel energy is kind of like real time. These things, you could watch readings from the end of June that I did, and they might be perfectly resonant now because you're still kind of like letting this stuff move you at a core level. There's different levels of being attuned to it, being able to feel it, and then being able to work with it. And then, you know, again, because we're human and we're not perfect, sometimes you're aware of it and you watch yourself acting against it, and then you're back on your little merry-go-round and you're like, here I am doing this again, and I genuinely know better, and I genuinely don't want this to be part of my life. You know, I have the ability to go in a new direction, to take my energy and everything I want for myself and stack it up like little dominoes and put my intention into it and watch them fall, you know, in the little pattern that I designed in my mind's eye. Yeah, it's kind of beautiful. So this is not really a great place to hang out for a long time, but we're already creating the sense of this by fearing it. I'm going to say that again. We're already creating this energy because we fear it. This energy isn't part of the major arcana. It's not part of the outcome. It's not part of anything that's here at all. It's just part of the fear. It's just the fear of, I mean, trusting something that's beyond what we can perceive. Well, I mean, here's the catch. You've never been in control. When you've tried to be, the universe has either had something better in store for you or adjusted in a quantum timeline sense around the decisions that you've made with your free will in a controlled way. So people who have had really tight, I think, grips of control over multiple areas of their life for a long time may be disillusioned to the fact that certain things could have gone differently because they see like, well, that worked out and I did it this way and that happened and that happened. No, I mean, you were still like white knuckling that whole entire part of your journey. It's just that the universe was moving around you to be like, okay, if that's what you're going to do, okay. No judgment around any of this, but what I see, give me a clarifier for the Five of Cups and for the Ten of Swords. That happened very quickly. Five of Wands, yeah, this internal conflict. I've talked about this card before as like too many cooks in the kitchen. This could be the internal monologue of being like, no, like this isn't right, blah, blah, blah. Like this is kind of all ego, right? Simplify it. Go back to the one idea. Go back to the one truth. This could also be people, if you ask people for their idea about your new project or venture, if they don't see it, and they can't because they're not you, you know, it's not that you didn't describe it properly, it's that they don't have the understanding from the soul level, from the emotional level, from the idea around it. You can basically just use your words. We're human. You have to communicate things somehow. So perhaps you're putting something out to the other people in your life and they're not validating it enough for you or the right way for you. And so you're like, oh, maybe they're right. Maybe I can't do this. Another card, please, around that. I'm not fully satisfied with that clarification. I need something more. Okay, now what I'm getting is that I need to ask for what then, if not If not this, then what? Okay, so this would come in as energy to embrace. If not that, then what? Because I do get this sense of like safety, the comfort zone again, being this place of like, it's not awful, it's not great. It certainly doesn't hold a candle to the types of things that the universe would like to deliver to us. What's the energy that we need to embrace in order to kind of work around the Five of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Five of Wands? Look at my dog pillow. Isn't he handsome? Oh, this one? Ah, the Knight of Swords. And again, I've talked about this as being like a classic knight, right? He is on horseback. He has a sword. Some of them don't. The knights are depicted differently. So this one is like the OG, the original gangster of the knights. And because of that, his mission is simple, right? He just kind of goes into battle. He just acts. Top and bottom of the deck, Queen of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles. Gosh. And the Well. Okay. This takes me back to what I was talking about with Chicago and Roxy Hart. Okay. So the only thing about this, what we need to embrace is just acting. Okay. But there is this need to recalibrate with, here's a stable feminine energy, and I talked about having an inner conversation with like my higher self, or basically me at the end of my life and being like, life review, did I make myself proud on July 25th? You know, if I had the ability, right? And trying to act in a way where I could always be like, yeah, I think that I did do my best, okay? This deep dive into the well of like truth, where we can birth all things, where ideas come from, where we can learn new things about ourselves through the process of that introspection. There's a need to do this on a quicker basis because, as I've said before, the energy is speeding up. But it doesn't mean move without any type of, you know, calculated and thought out understanding. Because we've already done that, you know, the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, they've been here for so long. The energy doesn't really want us to continue to wait. The Chariot wants us to go forward. But there's, again, like the Five of Pentacles is here too, this idea that we're missing out on something. Or that we have something to fear because we'll have something to regret. And I'm just seeing the reassurance being, go for it. But continue to talk to yourself as you go for it. And again, you see, this is the masculine ability to go, to do, to like move, to act in your life. And then these are both, you know, it's the feminine energy of the reflection. And just the confidence too, with the Queen of Wands. All right. Concluding. Two more cards about that. Just everything I just said, two more cards about it. One, it's face down, I can't see it yet. Give me two. Oh, okay. It's the Nine of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. It's the Nine of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. Regret and anxiety and worries about things. But again, you know, being generous and giving of yourself. Freeing up. There's something alchemical here in terms of energy transmutation. Okay, I'm almost seeing it like somebody who gets out of jail and they spend their life giving back to people, or, you know, a changed human in some way. Okay, I'm going to do top of the deck and bottom of the deck for that energy. Yeah, somebody who's changed because a period of introspection and soul searching and is ready to move forward. And be a little bit more giving. I mean, every single card that came out that is of conflict and despair, all of these things, it's so funny to me. The cards never cease to amaze me. These are all the minor arcana energies that we've been dealing with for a while. There's always going to be fear. There's always going to be some type of not knowing because you're human. You don't play like at a godly level in this life. You can only work with the elements, the pentacles, the wands, the cups, you know, your feelings, your words. That's all you get. I mean, there's levels of mastery with understanding how those things work within, you know, our psychology and our energy and the way that we respond to things, and it has to do with our own trauma and all these different things. But we've got everything out on the table that goes to show that there's a nice ability to kind of just trust in the way that things have panned out. Like whatever that energy from the past month, from the past 6 months, from the past 6 years has shown you, it's almost like we have seen certain things and they've never hurt so much as to see them with perfect clarity, but once you do that, then it's over, you know? And it's like, okay, I've reflected and I understand the error of my ways in whatever it may be, but instead of kind of perpetuating that cycle, I'm not really going to, you know, stir the soup, as it were. Stir that soup, at least, anymore. Stir a different soup. Okay. Yeah. An animal oracle to lift our spirits and show us the way. Oh, I was also guided earlier today to record some type of video where I am, and this has to do with me and my energy, what I feel in the collective energies, like a super intentional grounding where I use like my chime, and I'm kind of like, you know, using sage and clearing to help whoever watches the video to connect to their own sense of groundedness. Not going to happen today or right now, but it's something that I'm going to do. All right. Oh, I love this one. White Raven Spirit, Trust in the Magic. 66, 12, 3. Again, that really foundational, stable building block of the number 3. You can build with triangles. Mind, body, spirit, synergy. Nothing in the universe is random, for the intricate web of co-creation weaves together all events and has done so since the beginning of time. Coincidences have meaning, and White Raven Spirit appears to remind you to pay attention to these synchronicities so that you might recognize patterns. Even the winds dance in a pattern, participating in the magic of Spirit's plan for all. Align with the highest good and intentions, and you will come to see that White Raven is guiding you, an ally to you and a messenger from Spirit. Align with the light, and you will start to recognize that all is working together harmoniously in ways that the eye can't always see and the mind can't always comprehend. The universe is conspiring on your behalf right now, drawing you to the light and bringing you the magic and miracles that are your birthright. Now is the time to trust in the magic of the world that is everywhere and in all things. Pay attention to how things come together as if by magic, and you will see the hand of Great Spirit arranging things in your favor. So this has to do with High Priestess energy that I talked about as far as the unseen things, and the fact that if we have had tight grasps over just trying to funnel things for a certain outcome. That's a top behavior. It was 4, 4, 4, 4 when I looked up. That's 8, 8. That's 16, that's 7. That's an abundant number. It's a lucky number, right? I see us as having blocked our own abundance for a very long time, and it's no fault of our own. This brings me to a video that I recorded when I was walking one day in Italy. I have no idea which video it was, but I was talking about the fact that there are some things that we have to realize that we really have been affected by that are societal. They are collective. It wasn't our family or our parents or the bully that kicked me when I was 5, whatever. It doesn't have to do with any of that. It is a collective thing that has kept us, that we were born into. This goes back to what I was saying about the incarnational matrix, if you will. So there's a beauty that comes online when you can actually show yourself that trusting your own intuition and navigating the world in this different way is prosperous and profitable, and even more so than the other way of doing things, which in fact was a block to our own abundance. I'm going to read the protection message as well. All right, so it says, are you being distracted by the illusion of a chaotic universe? Deep in your heart, you know the world is full of magic, and White Raven has appeared to remind you that the ways of the world can cause spiritual amnesia. Stay awake and stay alert, for Spirit wants you to enjoy all the miracles around you. Remember, the evidence of divine order can be seen everywhere. Ask for a sign and it shall be yours. Synchronicities happen all the time. So if you are in a time of challenge and feeling cynical, all you need to do is ask for a reminder. White Raven Spirit will appear to reassure you that all of this is leading to something better, for magic is in the wind. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that as like the 5 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords, this like fear, right? That is the chaos and the illusion. And I've talked about this before in terms of like the ego versus the intuition and the layers of almost like the iceberg with the id, right? And the super ego, that visual. The chaos will always be chaos, right? Or you think of the body as a tree and you have to come down to the rooted trunk. If there's a storm, it is only the branches that move. The trunk, it may move a little bit, but it's not going to be like whipping around like the leaves and stuff. So that's where all of that energy resides, and there's evidence that goes to show that, because it was the major arcanas that were all happy, right? They were all first. They came out first in the reading. The trunk comes first. All that little hectic scattering, that's the branches at the top. That's what's always going to be there. That's not going to go away. You just have to learn how to navigate it. One more from the middle of the deck. I'm not going to read. I just want to, oh, yay, time to collaborate. Ant Spirit. And again, this has to go along with what I said with the 5 of Wands. Perhaps you've been asking for other people to validate your ideas or what it is that you'd like to do differently, and they're not capable of doing that. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but like we oftentimes put too much of our, like, oh, what do you think I should do? And then if they say like, I don't think you should, then it's like, oh. And then you just totally deflate your entire thing, even though it's not, who's to say that they get it, even if they said they did, right? And it's more about asking the universe to give you the signs than asking your busy, occupied friends and family. I'm not saying that people, you can't sit with somebody and have an idea and share it with them and get their opinion on it, but that 5 of Wands energy for me is like, and then with the White Raven of trusting in the magic, the signs are there. So it's about being able to look for them and kind of heed what it is that they're guiding us towards. And I'm getting the time to collaborate with the Ant Spirit around like a collaboration with the universe. I've talked about this before. It's taken me many years to get to a point, and I know I'm still young. I'm not pretending to be some wise old, witch in the woods, but basically, like, I live in a way now where I wake up and I'm not ever like, oh, I'm going to sit down now and have spiritual time. No, I live in the spiritual time. I more so see my waking life as like me, like, pretending to go be a normal person. And that's fun for me, it's whatever, challenging things happen, good things happen. It's all just one dance. And I ask the universe to continue to align me throughout the day to be like, help me manage this one. Help me talk to this person. Help me give me the words. Please help me to say what I need to say. Please help me trust that what I'm doing is guided. And so combined with the reading that I did yesterday, this is just really, really, really beautiful. And you'll see when you watch the one from yesterday too, because we had solar plexus clearing from last week that I recorded on. And in my reading from last night, I kind of saw that moving up into the heart, right? So there's this ability now to take this energy and kind of unite. Excuse me. And like from the heart center, the heart for me as an artist who works in channel, and what I mean by that is like I can go into a trance state when I'm painting, or I don't, try to. It just happens where like I'm a glasses wearer. I wear glasses, but I haven't been wearing them since I came back from Italy, because when I was there and I was painting, I didn't need them. I would just let my eyes go blurry and I would just do what I was doing, and it would work out because I was being guided. And I trusted that. And so I've, just been like out here not wearing my glasses, even though I need them. And it's like, I will wear my glasses to do certain things. But my point in saying that is like, we are being, even when things seem fuzzy, we're being guided and led, especially if you ask to be shown, ask to be helped, and then trust that whatever comes as a result of that request is being delivered to you. I just want to, reiterate and emphasize the fact that you do need to ask for only, the highest, the guides and the spirits and the universal energies of only the, the highest, like white light and love that benefits all beings, because there's a lot of stuff that's not of the light that pretends to be. Seriously. But I'm not going to focus on that today, because today's a good day. Even though it's a little chaotic. So time to go for a walk. You want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk? We're going for a walk. Have a fabulous evening. I hope everyone's doing well. And that's it. Okay, bye.